once, talk about it, reload it, and fire it again. Certainly. Yeah, I'll tell you when to cover your ears. You don't need to worry about it yet.
Powder.
All right. So at this point, if you don't like loud noises, now would be the time to cover your ears. Set, street, give, fight.
What?
And this is our matchlock musket, and it gets its name from my match or my slow match. When you stick burning rope into a pile of explosives, what happens? It explodes. It's that simple, right? So all this does, lowers rope. About as simple as it gets. So I've got my burning cord and I just lower that into a pile of gunpowder. And because of how simple this is, that's one of its biggest advantages at Jamestown. They can send over a bunch of muskets and a whole bunch of tradesmen and laborers who might not necessarily know how to use a musket particularly well. And they expect that after 2 weeks, somebody with no experience should be accurately hitting a man-sized target every shot from 100 yards. So, any of y'all have a great deal of experience with a matchlock musket? Well, after 2 weeks, you will. So you ready to sign on with the Virginia company?
Yes. Yes.
All right, I like the confidence. And they're worried about Spain attacking, partly because Spain, in this time period, the Spanish ambassador to King James said they would attack. After all, according to Spain, this is Florida, right? England says it's Virginia. So there's a little bit of conflict there. So Spain plans on attacking, and they've already done it. 2 French Huguenot colonies and a Dutch colony have already been wiped off the map by Spain. So they've shown they can do it, and they've said that they plan on doing it. So if you're coming over here as part of the Virginia company, how comfortable do you feel? Not very. So they're expecting to fight when they get here. They don't end up fighting Spain, but they do end up in several wars with the Powhatan. And the Powhatan learn how to use their bows from the age of 5 or 6. And they're incredibly skilled with them. One of the English, the Reverend Whitaker, says, "I think the world hath no better marksmen than the Powhatan. They shoot beasts running, fish swimming, and birds flying, and with such marvelous strength, I saw one of our men shot quite through, nailing his arms to his sides." It's incredible skill. Are you a professional soldier after 2 weeks of training? Not particularly. So you ready to go into a fight with somebody who learned how to use a bow from the age of 5 or 6 and is capable of doing that? Well, confident. So you might be just what the Virginia company's looking for. But they end up fighting the Powhatan, and in the First Anglo-Powhatan War, in many of their skirmishes, more Englishmen are dying than Powhatan warriors. But to the Virginia company, that's fine, because they can always send more people over. Get people from the streets of London, unemployed, send them across the ocean. All you need is 2 weeks of training, and they're good enough to go into a fight. But the Powhatan warriors, they have to raise a new generation to replace. So they can't get a new group of soldiers in 2 weeks. So one of the biggest advantages of the musket is how quick it is to train. And the other tool that the English are employing here in Virginia is armor, something I'm not really showing here. So if I'm getting hit with an arrow, I'm a big pincushion. But with the armor, that's going to make any target that the Powhatan would aim at much smaller and much less vital. If I'm protecting my entire torso, there's not a whole lot you can hit that's going to take me out of a fight effectively. and certainly not a whole lot that's going to kill me. But I'm going to go through the reloading and firing process one more time, show how this musket's used. And it's not particularly difficult, it's just time consuming. I'm going to use my paper cartridge, but normally they're using the bandolier here. Each one of these wooden cases that I've got is a single shot's worth of gunpowder. The flask on the side, however, is my priming powder, so that's what I'm going to start with. Normally I'd take a small amount of powder from here, pour that into the pan, but I'm going to use a little bit of powder from my paper cartridge instead. So pour that into the small pan on the side. That's where that match is going to ignite the powder. Blow off any loose powder and then cast about my piece. And when I cast about my piece, I'll use my paper cartridge, but normally you take one of those wooden cases, pop it open, pour that down the barrel. That's your gunpowder charge. Grab a musket ball from the pouch on the side. Some soldiers might keep a couple in their mouth at the start of a fight. Goes a little faster that way. And then use my scouring stick to ram everything down. How difficult did that look?
Not very.
It's just slow, but it's not particularly challenging to do. But now, take my burning cord and set that into the serpentine. And at this point, if you don't like loud noises, now would be the time to cover your ears. Present your piece! Give fight! And that's our matchlock musket. Have a great day. Thank you.